Okay, everybody listen. Everybody's asking me, okay, hey Ben, what do you think where the Raptors are headed? Hey, what the fuck are they doing in this trade deadline? What's the Raptors' direction? What are they doing? This is trash. Masai, what is wrong with him? Does he have Alzheimer's? Listen, I'll tell you what's going on with the Raptors. And I'll tell you what's going on with the Raptors in one simple quote from the late, infamous great Pablo Escobar. This is an actual quote from Pablo, which I think encapsulates what's happening with the Toronto Raptors right now. And here it is. Take this in. Take a big, deep haul of this and hold it in. There is a time to fight, and there is a time to be clever. Take that in. Welcome to the Sportitos Toronto Raptor Podcast, and I'm your host, Mr. El Hoopo. That's ELHOOPO. And I'm here with Mr. A.Rod, A-R-O-D, and Max Profit, you better pay me. The trade deadline just passed. The Raptors went into the Hornets' nest and smoked them out, just like G.W. Bush Jr. once said. Smoke them out. Smoke them out. Some Bin Laden will smoke them out.
Oh, goodness. J.W. Bush you're talking, right?
Yeah, G-Dub.
Yeah. When he dodged that shoe. Remember when he dodged that shoe?
Oh, man. That was
Legendary.
like Matrix.
Reflexes.
That was legendary.
Remember that? He go, oh, man. He was so funny. And at the end of his term, he was just partying. Remember, he was dancing on stage.
Yeah. He was partying his whole term. He wasn't in charge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. What's going on, boys?
Chilling.
Yeah, me too, man. What a day. What a day in basketball land, isn't it? We're in Super Bowl week right now. Long story short, I work in advertising, and it has been one fucking busy week. I work for a certain beverage company out there in the United States of America. It's not exactly what my t-shirt says, but it's been a busy week, and Super Bowl made it even tougher. So we're going to go into this. I thought I wasn't going to be prepared. I didn't have much time, but guess what? I found time because this is what I love to do. So, and we're very, very good at it. So let's set the dinner table, boys. First of all, we got two things we got to talk about, two main topics. We did have a game yesterday, and we have a trade deadline that happened. So I think, honestly, let's start with the trade deadline. And like we usually do, one word for a game. Let's start off one word for the deadline. A-Rod, give me one word that encapsulates the deadline.
I'm going to say what? As in like a slightly less... aggressive tone than Little John would say, because I really don't know what the Raptors are doing. I'm trying to figure it out. I kind of can't. I'm thinking, are they blowing this thing up completely? Are they stockpiling draft picks to try and get somebody in the door that is more immediate help? Are they trying to get younger guys to fit the timeline of the rest? But yeah, what? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's confusing. It's very, very confusing. So I'm with the rest of everybody out there in Raptorland just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Max? It's true. Everybody in Raptorland is a little bit like, huh? What? Huh? What? Sound like Master P. Huh? What? Huh? And Max, what do you think? One word.
Theme music from the Twilight
I
Zone.
was just gonna say that. I was like, I know what this guy's saying.
Yeah, I know
we're
what
just
you're
like,
saying.
it's like we're kind of drifting into that we might fall to the bottom where the Charlotte Hornets and the Washington Wizards lay and survive and eat raw meat and live in caves and stuff.
I think we're there, to be honest.
You think we're already there?
Yeah.
You think we're already there? Like, we were playing Charlotte the other night. It looked like two trash teams fighting for
I know,
win,
it looked like a trash playoff game, didn't it? They're all standing up at the end.
Remember those old bum fights that they used to put on YouTube?
Oh,
That's what this reminds me of.
I know, they're so sad to watch, but you gotta watch.
Man.
Yeah, you can't turn away.
You can't turn away.
Oh, man.
So we got what and oh, that's so true. For me, it was bye-bye. It was some weird stuff, man. With the I don't know. I'm gonna say waved. That's my word, waived. Because I've never seen two guys get traded and two guys quicker get. Oh no, it was one guy that got traded. Dinwiddie got traded and then he got waived. I think it was like an hour later.
Yeah. Dinwiddie came and left.
Yeah, and so it was like it was weird, man. It was a Pablo type of day. Like I said, there's a time to fight and there's a time to be clever. And the reason I use that quote is because I do believe that sort of answers your question, A.Rod. Where are the Raptors headed? I do believe they're being very clever right now. They're not fighting, they're being clever with it. This is a long-term thing going on right now. That's how I believe. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I think the only two teams that went out there and sprint today was Dallas and New York. And we'll get into it a little heavier, but this is a long-term sort of got to be clever. So
we're in the regulation league or something, like, you know.
Yeah. Shout out to Dinwiddie though, man. He was here for an hour.
Hey,
maybe even 30 minutes. He's got that Sarah McLachlan song to him now, man.
He brought his bitcoins.
I will remember you, man. Oh yeah, his bitcoins, man.
There's this one site I go on. I check sometimes Real GM with the Raptors, and they put an appreciation thread for for Dinwiddie. That was funny, man. All right, cool. So how about one word for that Hornets game last night? The Raptors took I guess the bottom feeder playoff game. The reason I say that because guys were standing up at the end of the game. They had a vibe at the end, like we got to win this one. It was like a best of seventh game sort of vibe. But Raps came out 123, Hornets 117. Give me one word. What you felt coming out of this one?
Like Black Rob would say, man. Whoa.
Whoa.
And whoa.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt with that game, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what about you, Max? Whoa.
Scraps.
Jeez.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes from a gangster movie of ever is from a movie called Hoodlum, where Dutch Schultz takes the bite out of the sandwich and he tells his one of his little manservants or whatever, his goons, wrap that up, take that over to your family, take the scraps, don't be proud. Yeah, me and Fabe always laugh at that shit because it's the most cold-blooded, meanest thing you can say, you know what I mean? Like, when we were in our 20s, you know, we loved that mean, cold-blooded type stuff in the movies and stuff.
Wrap that up.
Yeah, and that's what I felt like watching that game. Like, these are two trash teams fighting for the scraps, you know?
Seriously. Yeah, I agree. At the end, it was embarrassing. That's my word. It was embarrassing that we had to fight that hard.
In season championship type vibes. You were saying at the end.
It was just embarrassing. No, it was embarrassing that it was that tough to beat them. And then and then at the end, Charlotte's coach, what's his name again? Clifford was just so mad. He looked like he wanted to quit. He went off at the end, and that's when you know, like, you are down in the bottom now. When that happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
No,
I mean the Hornets are an absolute dumpster fire now.
Yes, they are.
Like it's crazy, man. If you
but
look
so
at their
Detroit
roster
and Washington.
Let's just get into the trades. Let's do it.
Sorry, you know we got to backpedal just for 1 second too.
Yeah.
With the Raptors, that Pelicans game, I was still thinking about one of the last plays in the game. 41 up, and you got Jose Alvarado hiding in the shadows, man. And, you know, these guys inbound the ball, and this guy comes in, sneaks, steals, passes it back, and, you know, get another easy layup. Up 41, and this guy's just making fun of us like that. You know, he's doing it.
Yeah. I stopped watching, and I seen the highlight of that afterwards. I was like, oh, they were clowning us too?
Yeah.
It was so bad, I turned it off at the end of the third, bro. I didn't even watch the fourth.
And you called it, Max. You said B.I. was going to go off, and he went off.
Yeah. What was that game?
I mean, that kind of player, we can't defend that kind of player.
No.
We don't got the tools. I was gonna say, what was the game where Scotty took a three and it hit like the top of the
Oh my gosh, that was the last game.
Yeah, that was.
That was. I was floating around on Instagram too.
Jesus Christ, man! I was like, I love Scotty, man, but that is one. Man, I wish we had LeBron's PR team, man. We need to hide that shit way under the dark web.
Well, let's switch that real quick. Congratulations to Scotty Barnes. He made it as an All-Star reserve. Yes. Adam Silver made the right call with that one. He made the right call, and Scotty's going to be participating in the skills competition, which I think actually fits him very, very well.
You got to redeem yourself from those 18 misses from 2 feet.
The little floaters.
That wasn't good luck.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. Yep. That was embarrassing. Yeah. So let's jump on this trade day today. The trade deadline was actually a quite busy one, I must say. And let's start with the Raptors, of course, and let's run down what happened. The Raps. So the first one that went down today was Otto Porter Jr. and Kara Lewis Jr. Both juniors were traded for Kelly Olynyk, the hometown boy. I think they call him in fantasy world. They call him the lunch lady. And Osei Abaji, another Nigerian. We got Nwora and Abaji coming to the Raptors. So it's becoming the Canadian Nigerian super team, I must say. It's building into something special here. So what did you boys think? What was your first initial reaction to the trade? And it stewed a little bit for now. The trade deadline ended about 6 hours ago. How are you feeling now about this trade?
I don't know. I got at it earlier. I'm still pretty confused. I'm kind of lost as to what direction they're taking. It looks like we're kind of cleaning up cap room just to free it up and hopefully take a run at somebody in the offseason. I don't know who we're going to take a run at because we're going to have to overpay like how we always do.
Yeah.
Americans just don't seem to want to come here. But other than that, I was really confused at first with the Dinwiddie trade. After they waived him, then it kind of made more sense. But it just didn't make sense from the perspective that he was playing like shit all season. He's older, so he doesn't fit the timeline, and then we're just getting him. It just seemed like what a waste. But okay, now we don't have a guard anymore because Schroeder's gone.
It was addition by subtraction with that one. Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Are we turning over the keys to the young guys and just telling them to roll? Is this IQ's team permanently? Bruce Brown's still here.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the trade that you mentioned, like Kelly Olynyk, he's kind of like the vet that I guess you need for the locker room, but he's not particularly amazing.
Yeah.
Abaji he's been great since Kansas days, but a lot of guys are good in college, not necessarily good in the NBA.
Yeah.
I think Masai just kind of gravitates towards guys he knows and he likes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, to me, that's like a kind of a flaw.
Max, before you jump in, I kind of want to jump on that quickly. I actually, the Kelly Olynyk part of it, I'm actually very I'm excited actually about Kelly coming onto the Raptors, just for this main reason is that this boy, he is steady. You know what you're gonna get from him. Plus, it's another case of bringing a hometown boy home. And I think that it's just that I think he's going to fit in quite well. He's not going to try to take too much that isn't his. He's going to stay in his lane, and he's going to be, like you just said, he's going to be a very steady vet that on the defensive end, he can shoot, he's clever, he's smart, he's got a very high IQ. That's exactly what this team needs. And, and Abaji, I think there's a lot... I think he's got a high ceiling. I think, and I do agree with you. I think Masai goes with the guys he obviously likes, and that's what you got to do. You got to go with your gut. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Max, what did you think of the lunch lady and Abaji headed our way?
I like Kelly. I don't know Abaji. I look at all the players except for Barnes and quickly, probably RJ. Everybody is raw meat, right? Everybody's
Scraps.
just chess pieces, and we're taking a guy because I probably we don't really, nothing really feels definite. We're just moving salaries around. Okay, Schroeder was upset that he's not the starter no more. Got to find a way to get him out. Finally got him out. I just feel like we're just sort of. It's a long drawn out process of cleaning up house, rearranging the furniture and getting ready to move some new furniture in,
Yeah, speaking of which, then the day ended with the Raptors we've already spoke on it. Schroeder and Thad headed to the Nets for, as we said, Dinwiddie, who then was waived and will never play. I'll never spend another minute with Toronto City beside his name. The one thing that surprised me today is Bruce Brown Jr. is still a Raptor. I am a fan of Bruce Brown. I think the entire pod here, all three of us, we're fans of Bruce Brown. So I can't
Not the way
say
he's
that.
been playing in Toronto, but yeah, fans.
No, yeah. So I think what this means is it gives the Raptors a chance to move him in the offseason or keep him. So we'll see. I mean, we have him for the rest of the year. See how it goes. See how it plays out. He's a dog. He plays hard. He's got a lot of heart. All teams need that. I mean, he's a perfect player for that. So I'm kind of happy he stayed. I don't know about you guys. What was your?
I don't know. Like we did try to trade him, and he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is he gonna like settle in, or is it just gonna be like, let me ride this out until the end? Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe he'll buckle in and go start going hard. But I don't really see I don't know. I'm not hopeful for that.
Yeah. What about you, Aaron?
You know what? I really like Bruce Brown. He's one of the guys that I was most impressed with when I watched him play live last year, when he was on the Nuggets. But I will say this though, like Max says, I don't like that we were doing this cat and mouse thing with him, where it was like, are we going to trade you? Are we going to keep you? We have the team option on you anyways. There's lots of things going around. Like, maybe we can get more value for you. Like, just, I don't like this kind of, like, uncertainty from management going down to either coaches or players. And you remember, like, before the season even started and we had Darko, like I said, I don't like that they told him, basically, we'll figure it out as we go along. Because now what you're doing is you put this guy under an enormous amount of pressure.
Yeah.
And now the season is basically tanked. We're not even going to win 30 games. Because if you look at the team and the way the roster is structured, you have such a potential in the first five, but such a drastic drop-off going into the bench that this team is going to suck. There's just no other way to put it. They're just going to suck. And now it's just like, we're going to start evaluating Darko's coaching skills, And it might be unfair, but that's just what people do when we watch sports, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it is unfair for this year.
It is, but like we want to give him more time. Maybe like another year, another year and a half, 2, whatever it takes, right? Yeah. But the reality is, you basically gave him a bunch of shitty tools, and you're telling him, "Hey, go out and get us 40 wins and get to the playoffs."
Yeah.
Well, I think when you make these trades, you're telling the coach, yes, this is a wrap, coach. Just try not to make it too embarrassing. I think that's the message. Like, you remember these type of trades.
I'll compare it to something. You remember when Harden was supposed to come back to Houston and they hired Steven Silas? And then Harden's like, I want to trade right before the season started. Then he came on in his fat suit and everybody was making jokes and whatever. That totally fucked up the whole team. And John Wall was still on that team, and they were like, yeah, he's going to play. But then they're like, no, he's not. He's just going to sit out and we'll pay him. Right? You can't do that kind of stuff to a team and then expect them to be successful.
I know, these are human beings.
You leave them with like young guys who don't know any better, and it's like you're trying to get this one guy, instead of being a coach, to put on all these other different hats. Be a mentor, be a therapist, be a coach, be like a tactician and all this stuff. It doesn't work, man. Like, you have to be very direct with people and tell them what their role is going to be in order for them to be successful. Otherwise, you're going to end up with this situation, right? So I don't think the management did a good job like dealing with the Raptors this year.
Yeah, I like what you just said earlier, that Raptors gave Darko the tools to try to, it's like they gave him a pair of scissors and some tapes that build a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough.
For a first-time guy?
Yeah, we have to have patience. Fans have to have patience. We have to preach patience. Just this season, come on. We all know. I said it about 4 episodes ago. The tank is here, and they're just doing it in a different way.
You called it.
Come on, guys. The tank. The rounds are off the tank, especially now today. Like, we shot it off. So,
I've watched 2 games where the announcers from the other teams were like, "Yeah, we're supposed to win this game."
Yeah.
Because the Raptors are now one of those teams
they're one of those
supposed
teams.
to beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows what we're doing, so you're supposed to get this game.
Yeah.
And you know what one of those games was? You know what one of those teams was?
No,
don't tell me Charlotte.
It was Charlotte.
No, hold on.
The Chicago Bulls announcer was like, yo, we've got to win this game. They said it multiple times. I said, this is crazy. That's how bad we are. Like, the Chicago Bulls are saying they got to get a win.
And this is the kings of mediocrity now. They didn't even make a move today, which is crazy to me.
Bro, it was...
Yeah.
It was disrespectful and true at the same time. It was crazy.
It is true. Well, it is true, and that's the thing. Like, if you act like that's not true, then you're delusional about what's going on here. What's going on here is a total teardown, And a total teardown is difficult. It's a construction site. You're gonna have to build it up, and it's gonna be tough because it's like, okay, there's a shortage of lumber here. There's a, there's a this, there's a that. And some of the guys you gotta employ it's not gonna just
payoffs.
Exactly.
But,
some trucks went missing.
We gotta also put a little bit of heat on Masai too, because Masai said, this is a retool, not a rebuild.
This looks
and this is not a retool at all, man. Like, you're not giving Scotty anything really to be like pumped up about and grow with, right?
Yeah.
You're just giving him guys around his age, and you're kind of hoping a couple of them just flourish.
Yeah.
That sounds like he straight up lied for management. Like, don't kill the ticket sales. That's what it sounds like to me. You know what I mean?
I'm happy with quickly. I'm happy with RJ. Bruce Brown, I am happy that he's here still. I love the point you boys just brought up right there about how that messes with your head, though, because we did let it be known that, Bruce probably not going to be here, but I like that he's here. And I am happy with the Kelly Olynyk signing. So we'll see, right?
Sloppy,
we have to have patience.
Yeah. Well, we got some stuff, but it's sloppy, man.
Yeah, it needs to be put together. All right, speaking of being put together, I got a question for you guys. So I have a friend who this is a real story. So I got a phone call last night, and it was an unknown number, and it was long distance, obviously, right? So I'm like, usually I don't pick up unknown numbers.
A lot of those going around.
Yeah, but there was a vibe behind this one, so I knew I had to pick it up. So I picked it up, right? And it was all muffled. It was my friend. It was my friend Mario. He's overseas with the army. And he's like, I'm coming home. Are you coming home? He's like, yeah, they're bringing me home. I'm like, that's fantastic. He hasn't been home in 5 years. I'm like, okay, that's fantastic. I'm like, when you coming home? He's like, coming home next month. I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy the old lady. She's in real trouble when I get home. I'm like, yeah, okay, relax. He's like, I got one problem though, because my friend, he got shot in the knee when he was over there, right? So he's got some issues with his knee. But what happened was it messed with a nerve, and it messed with his masculine side, so it messed with his side to be able to adjust to the situation and stay hard, right? He's having some problems staying hard. So he said, do you know of any way that I can fix my problem with staying hard so the old lady can get it right when I get home from my deuce from over here? I'm like, I don't know. I have to ask the boys on the pod. If you boys know of any way that you help my friend out, he's coming home to his old lady to stay hard.
I'm so happy this man doesn't have an itch, man. I didn't want to send another man to Popeyes, man.
This man needs to stay hard. So where should we send him? What do you think?
After you deal with what you deal with, partner, make sure she says thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And you need to go to Popeyes supplements before you do all that, though.
Popeye supplements. Well, as you know, that means this is another episode of This or
That.
And this one is going to stay a little bit... I forgot to use this picture. George Bush blowing smoke rings. Okay, so first up, we're going to stay in... Charlotte for this one. So we've done this already, but there was so much in the state of North Carolina that it was easy to bring up some new stuff. So the first one we're going to do Party. Who do you think partied harder in their heydays? Okay, and we got two musicians here. First is from the state of North Carolina. We got George Clinton.
George Clinton.
The legend George Clinton, against from Jodeci, KC. So we got KC versus George Clinton, Parliament, P-Funk. Who do you got in the heydays?
This is hard, man.
I know.
Yeah, that's a lot of history right there.
I mean, listen, Casey and JoJo, I Want to Freak You. Oh, my Lord. Talk about that track. My God, man.
Babies.
And if you're too young, go on YouTube, man. There's always YouTube. Turn it on, man. Go to Spotify, Pandora if you're in the U.S. I don't know, whatever other Chinese site if you're across that way. Just, man, turn that thing on, man.
Oh, man.
And that thing is... Ooh.
Forever, my lady.
I mean, so... Funny story about Casey and JoJo. I was going to go see him downtown at the Phoenix one night. And this is a long time ago, right? And I was dating this older girl. And she's like, yeah, I got tickets. We got to go and everything. I'm like, all right, cool. This is going to be a good night then. Because I know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So
For
we
sure.
go down to we're about to go downtown and leave our house. Why is there a blizzard, man? And cannot drive. You know, we're trying to go from Scarborough all the way down to the Phoenix. Cannot, you know, it's inadvisable to drive at this point.
Oh man!
And just ended up staying in.
This was to see Jodeci or to see Casey and JoJo?
Casey and JoJo.
Wow.
You didn't make it.
Didn't make it, man.
Yeah, stay home, throw in the disc, throw in the four disc changer.
Sorry. What am I saying? Not Casey and JoJo. Jodeci.
It was Jodeci.
Okay. Jodeci. My bad. What am I thinking? Too long of a day. But P-Funk. I mean, fuck, George Clinton, man, so legendary, man. The influence they got, man. Even if you look at that first Doggy Style album, man, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Shout out to Eric Sermon,
Who
too.
do you got?
Yeah.
Who do you got?
I'm going to go with P-Funk, man.
You going?
I'll go with P-Funk.
George Clinton?
More applicable, more legendary. I'm just going to go with that right there.
All right. So
Wild
we got
choice.
1-0 for George Clinton, the legend George Clinton. All right, so we got Casey versus George Clinton. Who you got, Max P?
This is wild.
I know. Legends, right?
Yeah. But you know what? I'm a Run DMC guy.
Yeah.
And the rappers that were doing their thing before Run DMC changed the game were influenced by George Clinton and them.
Yeah.
But their fashion, it was more their fashion that they were influenced by. Their music sound was more like Eric Sermon, EPMD, and then the West Coast. But their fashion style, early rappers were on that what George Clinton was wearing.
Yeah.
The costumes. And as a kid, I was not into that at all. So when the Run DMC came on the screen and it was like, yeah,
cleaned it up.
you know what I'm saying? And Jodeci is from the '90s, so that's my era. You know, so I got to rep the Jodeci.
You're going Jodeci.
I'm going Jodeci because they're both party animals. Casey is a party animal.
God.
George Clinton, you got to hear his stories about how he recorded some of those songs.
That was gonna be my story. Yeah. Like, did you see? What was it, Casey or JoJo that passed out on stage, fell off the stage like 3-4 times when they tried to come back, when they tried to do that Jodeci reunion tour.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that. I know they got a drug problem and all that.
Oh,
I know when Casey and JoJo were together, they were just like two fiends on the road.
Oh my God! But they got everything.
They went into rehab together too. Like, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? He was Casey was with Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, beating her up and all that. Allegedly.
All right, so we got the tie. We got A.Rod with George Clinton. We got Max P with going 90s. With
so
Casey.
you gotta make the decision, Poe.
So the story that I heard. So if we're talking about straight partying, I heard a story that George Clinton, when he went into the studio to make this song, he came in real late, and he was high out of his mind. And I guess at the time he was smoking rock. I guess that's what was going on. And
that was before. That's when it was still cool. Can you imagine smoking rock was cool?
And it was cool then, yeah. So he got in and didn't know what he was recording, didn't know what he was doing. They just threw on the headphones, and he just said press play, and all of this, just everything he said on this song just came out in one take. The crack just sent him into another planet, and just he recorded Atomic Dog. Like, how crazy is? I believe it for sure.
Oh yeah. I used to tell my engineer in the studio all the time, the Hennessy is writing these hooks, man. I ain't got nothing to do with it, brother.
This is one of A.Rod, speaking of which, is one of the only guys I know I've ever seen do that, like literally do that, be able to make a tune all right off top of his head and it sound good and have substance and have, meaning to it, and all from just coming out of his brain without writing anything. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. But yeah, so my
Clinton, man.
I'm going straight. I love Jodeci, man. I had a 5-disc changer in my room until those things weren't cool.
Man, a 5-disc changer. Hey,
and listen,
kids don't know, man.
Jodeci never left the 5 options. Because you remember, because you lay in your bed, you have I had mine right beside my bed, so it was easy, right? So I if things were going, you're staying high.
Things were going, you're right there.
Just have to hit it, and
right
you hear
there.
it go. and I knew exactly which disc was on. 3, boom, forever, my lady.
Remember when they used to sell singles?
Oh man.
Yes,
exactly.
Lots of phone pimping with Jodeci playing in the background too.
Phone pimping, oh my god, yeah, 100%. You have it just playing in the background. It would just work. It was just a perfect little sprinkle. So it is tough, but I am gonna have to go because the question was, who do I think party harder? And I'm giving it to the OG, George.
The OG, salute.
Yeah, for sure. But man, come on, Josie, Casey, legend. All right, up next. We have a fight. Oh man! So I'm going two old school Charlotte Hornets. One is definitely, we'll just get right into it. We got Montrezl Harrell. And he only played, I believe, one season, but he still did play in Charlotte versus the super OG Vlade Divac. So if these guys got caught in a pub afterwards, had a few too many drinks, and someone said something to somebody, who do you think would catch him quicker and knock him out quickest, Vlade or Trez? Who do you got, A.Rod?
I seen Trez come up ever since he was at Louisville. I know what kind of dude this guy is, man. He's an absolute dog.
Yeah,
he just goes for it, all the time. But I gotta say, man, it's tough to go against Vlade, man. And the reason I say that is because Vlade has some anger issues, man. Just the way he was making those picks while he was GM at Sacramento, only a man that angry inside could be making such terrible ass picks, man. So I'm gonna go with Vlade, man. I'm gonna go with Vlade on the premise that he's just an angry dude inside, and man, the rage would have carried him over the top.
Yeah. I like that take. It's angry. Do you think Vlade take Trez, eh? Oof.
Sounds crazy.
Okay,
but
all right. 1-0 for Vlade. Who do you got, Max P, Vlade or Montrezl Harrell?
Shout out to Vlade. Smoke a cigarette before every game. Vlade Divac. Wow. And what was that charge that Montrezl Harrell caught? Did he get caught with a bunch of weed in his car or something?
Yes, transporting. I think he went over state lines.
Yeah. And Montrezl Harrell got a great Reebok collection, by the way. I don't know, I didn't know Reebok made so many dope sneakers, but if you pay attention is he still in the league?
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is, but I think when he was in the league, he had a great Reebok collection. I never knew Reebok had so many dope sneakers. I guess you got to know the right shoes to pick. Yeah. So he got great taste in sneakers, but I'm going with the cigarette champion, the cigarette man, the cigarette man from the X-Files, Vlade Divac.
All right, so that's 2-0. I love Montrezl Harrell. I remember when he was still playing. I really wanted him to be a Raptor. That's who. I just always, every year that went by, I was like, I want to get Trez on this team. Trez on the Raptors.
We could use someone like that kind of energy and strength and rebounding right now.
I don't care what people say. Like goons are out of the league. You always need guys like that. Who have that much heart
they tried to do that in football with the running back, and every year you need a running back to win the Super Bowl. No. I mean, you need rebounders and defense to win an NBA championship.
Absolutely.
Stop it.
Yep. Ask James Posey.
Yeah, James Posey, man. But in a fight, I'll tell you something. You see how A.Rod said about his anger issues, right? Not only does he have anger issues, but you gotta watch. I noticed one thing in this picture. You gotta watch out for dudes that have one tattoo. When they only have one, and it's on that real basic spot right here. You know where guys used to get barbed wire? That one spot right there, that means that's either somebody that died, that they're living for now. It means that that's who they'll die for. Whatever that tattoo is right there, that's what they'll die for. And that's what, if Montrez or whoever stepped up to Vlade, he's just going to look at his tattoo.
He's going to tap that tattoo?
Oh, yeah. And Trez is going to go for one punch and slip off of his chest hair and all his sweat and not even have a chance. And Vlade's going to go, good try, and bang, and just knock him out one punch. So that's a sweep right there.
Glad he got that Chuck Norris chest hair.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, uncontrollable body hair. Like I get it. It's in my family. Like it's wild. Like the Italians. What's his background? Is he Serbian?
Serbian.
Serbian. Yeah. The same thing. Comes from the same cloth. Yeah, I know. Get that one right.
See?
Where's he from?
Yeah, Serbia.
Okay. So as I was going through the all-time roster, as I do with every team, as I say, I'd like to give shouts out to some people that you haven't heard their name in quite a while, and there's a couple of legends here that I definitely have to. First, we'll go with the basketball team. Gerald Wallace.
Yeah, he was a good player.
He really was, and he could do everything, right? And he played for a long time with the Charlotte Hornets and Bobcats, and I just wanted to give him a shout out. And another guy, Rex Chapman,
legend.
Kentucky legend. Rex
Chapman.
Legend.
Kentucky
legend. All three phases. He was a legend in college. I wasn't really following him then. I loved him in Charlotte.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, look at the card. I think I even had that card. Wow.
Yeah,
I remember those cards
and you
too.
talk about his struggles after,
and then he beat his struggles.
And
after off the court, now he talks about it. This is how I beat it. Came through.
Yeah, which I mean is beautiful.
That is beautiful because we've seen plenty of people just hit the grave when they catch that kind of addiction.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? You talk about that. You remember I brought up the ginger Robert Swift, who got drafted from Bakersfield, I think, to Seattle SuperSonics back in the day. He went through that. He got found he was 19 years old, got his big contract, and I think 2 years later he was found in a dope spot at a stash house with eye on meth and like pit bulls all over the place and sawed-off shotguns. I'm like you just said, Max, like it happens and you just don't hear about it. And for somebody to kill that demon inside of them, that's legendary, man. So Rex Chapman. Big salute to Rex Chapman, man. Yeah. All right. And not only basketball, but a Carolina legend, just beautiful. The original Foxy Brown, Pam Grier.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that guy in the background, man. He's just like, hey.
Yeah, I changed a lot of white dudes, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, she's my number one when it comes to Hollywood beauty. She's my number one.
Man, gorgeous. So Pam Grier, we salute you. And another.
She's from North Carolina. Where's she from? North or South?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah.
Need one of those P.D. Pablo towels, man.
P.D. Pablo.
With it, North Carolina. Raise up. Another legend, actually. I didn't know he was from North Carolina, but to all of you, you've heard me mention it before. Buzzkill. Zach Galifianakis is from North Carolina. His stand-up at the Purple Onion, I just want to give him a shout. It's one of the funniest stand-up specials you'll ever see. It was way back in the day before he was on Hangover, before he did any of that, and he was just an alcoholic, and he was just unbelievable. So look it up. Zach Galifianakis, live at the Purple Onion, he's from North Carolina and just a legend.
Legendary funny man.
Yeah,
legendary.
And last one,
really,
the DC, Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman, man. Shout out
Derek
to Derek Coleman, man.
Shout out to Derek Coleman,
dude.
man.
I love Derek Coleman when he was on that Philly team.
I loved him when he was on. I loved him when he was on Jersey with Kenny Anderson.
Yeah, Kenny.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah.
Back to the basket, post up moves, man. Full soft mid range game.
Oh, it was crazy. He was way ahead of his time.
Yeah,
big as hell, dude.
Boogie before Boogie.
Yes, good. Yeah, that's good. So that's it for this or
that.
Yeah.
And for all of you gotta stay hard knees, you just go into your local Popeye sub and say, listen, can you help me out with that? They may be able to help you with something. Just ask them at the front desk, see if they can help you out. All right, boys, let's go around the NBA. There was a lot going on. We did touch on the trade deadline, but I got a couple of notes here. There's one that is just wild that happened today. I wanted to get you guys check on this, and it was funny because I was listening to the Sports Ethos trade deadline show today while I was working. I had it playing in the background, and when it happened, Dan Bespris, who was the host of the show, it was funny the way he quote Killian Hayes got waived today, just straight up cut. He was a 7th pick. He got straight up cut today by the Detroit Pistons. And Dan Bespris goes, whoa. First thing out of his mouth, he goes, whoa, that's a life check. That's the quote of the day, man. That's a life check. I'm like,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up, young man. This is a life check.
Well, the craziest thing about that was just last week he put out a statement with his camp saying that they would prefer a change of scenery.
Well, you
so
got
now
it.
It's just like, yeah, how about your bed and your ceiling?
Yeah.
YMCA.
You ain't doing shit out here.
Shit just got real.
But that's the game, isn't it? The NBA is ruthless. You were a 7th pick and waived.
Well, I mean,
Well,
I don't know if you
they're bringing
guys ever watched him play. Like, have you
Yeah,
ever
he's
sat
got some
down and
issues.
watched him play? So, like,
No.
listen, he's not bad when it comes to court vision
Passing.
and passing. He's all right. Defensively, he's got, like, a base that you can work around. Everything else is a disaster.
Yeah.
It's a solidified disaster watching him play.
Yeah.
And there's no time to like build you up. You got players
No.
Europe, NCAA.
Yeah. He
G
came from
League.
the French league, too.
Yeah.
I still remember when they picked him. They were high on him because of the length and like the passing, and they thought, okay, his shot could be worked on. And like 4 years later, nothing. And maybe it's not entirely his fault. Like the coaching staff constantly changed. Like the game plan for Detroit changed. The rosters, like they went and drafted K. They put him as shooting guard, and they put him at point guard when he's off. Like it's
And
just a bunch
Jaden
of
got in
weird
his way.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's not all on him, but like, come on, man. 4 years, like doing one job, you can't shoot.
Yeah.
You can't even do a mid-range thing. What are you, Ben Simmons' brother?
Speaking of Ben Simmons gets an interview. I think it was yesterday. He just wanted to punch the screen when I saw this. And his main point of his whole conversation was, "I would do better starting."
Yeah.
He's complaining about not starting. Listen, man, you just came back from nothingness. Like you literally you've played 2 games this year. How can you even open your mouth right now?
You would do better starting. What's he play for, Brooklyn?
Yeah.
The Brooklyn Nets would do better with you being waived, brother.
That's what I'm saying.
They would. That's facts. That's not even being mean about it. Like,
No. Yeah, Killian Hayes, this guy. Seriously, get rid of him. Anything else stick out to you guys around the league that
New York, great trade today.
Oh yeah,
with the Pistons.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah,
fantastic
New York
trade.
is,
I mean, good for them, man. Because I mean,
They
getting
got Alec
Bogdanovich,
Yes. Yeah.
that's a solid play because their biggest problem for years was spacing. So now you got a full-time starter who can shoot the 3 at like a 45 clip. Like
I could see them winning Eastern Conference Final. You got Mitchell Robinson coming back. You got OG out for a few weeks now. He's got elbow surgery, I think, but he's going to come back. But I could see them coming out at least making Eastern Conference Final.
The only team I think that's going to get in their way is the Celtics.
Yeah.
'cause Philly is ass.
Oh,
I
Well,
mean,
the Embiid's gone. So what are
hold
they
on.
gonna
Embiid's gone. That's fine.
do?
He's not worth that much to that team for them to be playing like this shit.
Well,
That's a Nick Nurse thing too, man.
yeah.
And I don't care. I'm sticking by it,
But
man.
it is a big letdown though when you have a chance to win and now you have no chance to win.
Yeah,
Even
but
though
that's-
they- even though they should be better, like that's a big disappointment to like absolutely be ready to go all the way and now there's no way. You know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of going all the way, I think another team did quite well today was the Dallas Mavericks, getting Gafford and PJ Washington. Getting some help in the middle with Gafford. I think Gafford was a sneaky pickup by them today. Sneaky trade.
I'm gonna disagree with this one.
Yeah?
I actually
How so?
hated both.
Really?
And the thing is, PJ's my guy from Kentucky, but I really think that PJ's skill set was not worth what they gave up for him. They gave up one of their best assets in Grant Williams.
Yeah.
Now they have nothing to trade with. So you're stuck
I like
with that
Grant
team.
Williams. I'm disappointed he went off to Siberia like that.
Oh
No
my
disrespect to
gosh.
anybody from Siberia, but that's just a reference.
I hope we get some listeners from Siberia, though.
Yeah. Hopefully, shout out.
I
But,
always check, but we don't.
Yeah.
But in the NBA,
If
man,
anybody's
that's a
out there
place-
listening, man, and knows somebody from Siberia, tell them to hop on, man. We'd love to hear them.
Tell them to get their
Rough.
Wi-Fi working.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi working. It's rough living out there, man.
Yeah.
Same with Charlotte for you.
And I was gonna say I don't like the Gafford pickup. I think
Really? I think it's a great
the numbers oversell this guy. He's always hurt. He makes
is
no
hurt.
impact on the court. He reminds me of just a shittier Andre Drummond.
No, I'm not with you on that one, man.
So-
I think he's
I
a shot
think in the-
blocker.
I think if you can find a way to keep him on the playoff roster, he might do 1 or 2 games where he gets like 10, 15 rebounds for you. He's one of those guys.
Like 4 or 5 blocks. He can do that. It's in
Like
him.
he'll have 1 or 2 games where he just pops up and helps you. You know.
Yeah. And
that's the best you can expect. That's the best you can expect from a guy like that. But he's got all the skills to really help you. Just not consistent at all.
And they do have the young guy. What's his name? Derek Lively. Hopefully this doesn't cut into his development.
Did he get hurt? I haven't seen him play.
He's been hurt all year.
He's always hurt. Even last year at Duke, man, he was hurt.
Really?
He only came back at the end of the season and put on a show. That's why his numbers and his draft stock went so high, because the end of the year he was playing extremely well. The whole year he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question I want to pose to you guys after this trade deadline. What are the Lakers doing? Not making any trades. What are you? What are they doing?
I think I know.
Tell me what happened.
I think I think they're tired of fighting with LeBron. They're gonna let him go.
And
they're gonna bring in. They're working on who they can bring in for next year to have some more star power with AD. The rumor that was floating around was Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I did see his name associated.
And Keyshawn Johnson, who is a LA guy, and I know he has people that talk to him from the Lakers. I know he does.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, on TV, like, yo, if we bring in Donovan and we keep AD, then we can kind of, and he was talking like somebody told this to him. He wasn't like,
and it was no mention of LeBron while he was saying
no, he was talking like he was thinking LeBron's going to go too. And he was thinking that they're going to bring in Donovan Mitchell because he was hoping that Donovan's going to force a trade from Cleveland because he got 1 more year left after this season.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's what he was saying.
The plot thickens.
Now, the trade thing makes it difficult for the Lakers because they ain't got shit to trade with, right?
Yeah, like D'Angelo Russell, come on, no.
So that's what makes it a little, I don't know for sure, but I do think LeBron is gone. That's why they didn't go too hard. And I think they're tired of fighting with this guy.
I'd be tired.
They want their team back. They want their team back, bro.
That's poisonous, right?
Sometimes you gotta blow up. Sometimes you gotta blow up your own ship just to get it back, right?
Yeah, that's the truth. But you, A-Rod, we'll finish off this around the NBA. Was there anything else that sort of stuck out to you?
No, I mean, I thought it was a relatively quiet trade deadline. I didn't really think too much of it. Nobody really jumped out and surprised me where they were going. I mean, a few teams made some just like cap clearing room.
It was a lot of those kind of moves I noticed this year.
Like
it was
Robin
a lot
Lopez
of
went to Sacramento.
It was a lot of those kind of moves where it was
what's his name? Mick Buckets went back to Indiana.
The thing is with McBuckets, like that made sense because they just traded Buddy Hield, which I thought was kind of weird, but I guess
he's
Carlisle
gonna be nice.
didn't really
what's his name? The LeBron guy on TV. He's so pissed that the Lakers didn't get him because they've been
Nick Wright.
Yeah, because they've been trying to get him for 3 years, and then he finally goes to some other team for peanuts. He's like, "What's going on?"
Buddy Hield, you're talking about?
Yeah, and I was like, "Yes, Lakers, feel that pain, feel that pain."
Driving me nuts. Why does every player have to be associated with the Lakers? Like,
every decent player. It's like, hey, you might go to the Lakers, but the Knicks get that too sometimes.
Yeah.
But they don't get anybody. They just get the rumors.
Well, speaking of teams and other teams, I got a question. I got a matchup here I want to throw at you guys. So imagine the 1980 Detroit Piston Bad Boys. So we got Bill Laimbeer, we got Joe Dumars, we got Rodman, we got Thomas.
One of the deepest teams I can ever remember was that Detroit Pistons team. Like they had 10 solid players. It was crazy, bro.
Crazy. They were tough as nails.
Every single one of them.
But do they have a chance against these Toronto Raptors that are on the court right now? If they played one game right now at Scotiabank at their prime.
Let me think. Who's on our roster?
Who do you think? Like honestly, who do you think will win the game? It's a tough question. Like this.
What do you think, A-Rod? Right now. You're the scientist.
Listen, man, I'm gonna go with the Raps.
The Raps. That's a good choice. I think that's a good choice. They have a chance. Well, boys, that was fun, and we got out of another trade deadline. And wraps up next. Who do we got up next? We got Fred VanVleet coming to, I didn't even write it on my notes, but I believe it's Houston tomorrow night in Toronto.
What up, fat boy?
Yeah, fat boy. I know. Let it out. Like in this, you're gonna get canceled for calling someone fat. No. You're a burden on society. You need to start fasting a little bit. Like you said about Zion, A.Rod. I watched that game. You were not kidding. He is about one half. Like he's got that problem where when fat people have their shoes and their shoes are going this way.
Yeah.
Like and then it's like really off kilter. You can see it. Like it's a New Balance that's got no balance. And it's and it's tough to watch, man. Like he's playing, but it's a little scary. Anyway, so Raptors in Houston tomorrow night. What do you guys want to see? No prediction. Give it to me.
All I want to see is moving forward, who we're giving opportunities to, how the plays are developing. Are the players developing going forward? The season's over. So let's get out of the way, Raptor fans. It's done. It's cooked. They're not winning 30 games. Let's just look at, like, who do we actually want to have on this team to cheer for in the future? Who do we actually feel like is going to be, something that we can look forward to actually turning on our TV to? And is Darko the right guy? That's all.
I love that take. I love that. What about you, Max?
Yeah, for the rant alone, Darko gets 3/4 of next season at least. You know what I'm saying? For that rant alone, he could be trash, completely trash, and I won't holler for him to go until 3/4 until next season. Because that rant was just, man, come on, man. Like when people just hop out the window and start busting for you like that, you gotta show them love.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know if Darko's the guy. I just like him.
Yeah.
Me
too.
I don't like anybody on the team as far as like, we got to keep him, except for I like RJ, I like Quickly, I like Barnes. So the only thing I'm looking forward to seeing is Dylan Brooks's braids. Like, what's he gonna do? What style is he gonna do with his braids that game right there?
Who's he got coming out from square one to watch him? Huh? For me, I'm fully on board with the all right, rap fans. Like, let it go. Let it go. Like, we really got to let it go. It'll make it a lot easier. And I actually would be quite excited if they just let guys like Freeman, Liberty play. Like, let's see what we got with these young guys. Give Grady a bunch of run. I want to see him just throw him to the wolves, and let's see what he's got. Let's see what these young guys have got, and then reconvene over the off season and see what happens. But we really, Raptor fans, you're listening right now. Let it go. Let it go. Don't get mad. We're gonna get even. So there's no reason to be mad and get angry at losses right now, because it's gonna be tough. There's gonna be a lot, like A.Rod just said.
And there's very few teams that have a chance to win the whole thing this year.
Exactly.
So it's not like
Yeah, exactly. All right, boys. On that note, I'll see you this weekend, huh?
Yeah.
And by the way, nice polo, Max. Look at this.
Thank you.
Look at this. All right, boys. Oh,
what's up? Hey, that's the first right there.
I just remembered it's Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
he's been working.
Why didn't you make your pick then? What's your pick?
I'm gonna go Chiefs. Chiefs cap it off with a nice little comeback in the end.
What about you, Max? What's your pick?
They're no longer the Chiefs. They're the Swifties. And I'm gonna go with them for the win. I'm gonna go with a good 14-point win.
I'm gonna ride the surfboard on Joe Montana's hair, and I'm gonna go with the Bay. I'm
going
with the 49ers.
That would be crazy. Brock Purdy was last pick of the draft.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, though. All right, we're good to go. By the way, Super Bowl almost killed me this week. I don't even know if I mentioned it off top, but I work in advertising, and I work in. I already mentioned it. I see it. My brain is gone. So I'll be in much better shape come Sunday. So enjoy the game, enjoy the big game, enjoy the rest of your week, and stay positive. Take your lady to dance and show her something a little bit had by the end of the night. All right, see you, boys. This has been another episode of the Sportitos Toronto Raptor Podcast, and I'm your host, Mr. L. Hoopo, and that was A.Rod, and that was Max P. And all three of us would love for you to hit that like and subscribe, because when you hit like and subscribe, it does us well and it does you well, because positivity beats negativity every day of the week. Bye-bye.